To the June 10th meeting of the Monterey County Planning Commission. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Work, would you lead us, please? Thank you, Commissioner Work. All righty. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, good morning. Commissioner Getzelman.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Here.
Commissioner Mendoza.
Here.
Commissioner Deal.
Here.
Commissioner Monsalve.
Here.
Commissioner Work.
Here.
Commissioner Shaw.
Here.
Commissioner Gomez.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts and Commissioner Hartzell are absent. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All righty. Madam Secretary, you had a few comments that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So, this is my first time up here, so I don't know if we pop up a screen for Wordly, but the Planning Commission does use, are we doing Zoom first? Okay. Apologies. I'm first time sitting up here. We'll be smooth. So we do use Zoom in terms of participating online via Zoom, as shown on your screen. During public comments for items not on the agenda or for items on the agenda, you can raise your hand and lower your hand by pressing *9. Another way to participate is by emailing PC hearing comments at countyofmonterey.gov. This email address can be found on the agenda for today's meeting and is being monitored by our clerking staff. And ultimately, members of the public who wish to comment will be granted permission by the meeting clerk to unmute themselves during the public comment section on each agenda item. We do ask that you keep yourself muted during the presentation.
Thank you. We'll be moving along then to public comments, which is the next item on the agenda. Public comments would be comments that someone in the chambers or online or on a call would like to share with us that are not currently on the agenda for today. That would be comments you want to share that are not on the agenda. Anyone? Seeing no one in the chambers coming forward. Do we have anyone online?
There are no additional comments online, but we do have Commissioner Monsalve with her hand raised.
Okay. Commissioner Monsalve?
Good morning, Chair. Thank you so much. I just wanted to invoke the Just Cause Government Code 54953.8.3C due to a family medical emergency, and I do have 2 adults present at this location with me.
All righty. Thank you for letting us know. Appreciate that. Then we'll move along, seeing no public comments here or online, to the agenda additions, deletions, or corrections. Do we have any of those, Madam Clerk?
Yes, for the record, we received and distributed additional correspondence for agenda item number 3, PLN 220125, Monterey County Sheriff's Posse, and agenda item number 4, PLN 220088, the Ranch Club, Inc. Those were distributed in the dais, and we have copies up in the front.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So, Commissioners, do you have any comments or requests or referrals that you'd like to share with us today? Looking down the row, I don't see any hands raised. Oh, Commissioner Gomez.
Item 3, they're asking for a continuance on item 3. Do we do it now or do we wait till the item comes up?
We were going to get to that in just a second.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. Oh, Commissioner Deal, thank you.
This is not specifically a Planning Commission item, but I just wanted to take this opportunity with a microphone to speak to anybody who's considering a holiday trip to Big Sur. I want to suggest that we are looking towards record-breaking traffic in that area this summer. And as you will have seen, there's an effort going on at the Board of Supervisors to address the congestion at the Bixby Bridge. My hope is that that will be accomplished soon, but not immediately, with some signage, but that is really the only one step towards allowing clear standards for the CHP to enforce traffic movement through there safely. So since all of that is taking time, I think we just all need to take any platform that we have and remind people to plan accordingly, try to look at off-peak. You can go to the Community Association of Big Sur website and look at the traffic counter, which will give you an idea of how the traffic builds over the course of the days. Historically, it doesn't do it real time yet. So you can see when might be a good time to plan your car travel. I mean, we encourage you to go down there, spend time, but absolutely do take that into account. That we've had traffic back up Memorial Day was all the way back to the Del Monte Center going south to Big Sur from Point Lobos. So it's significant and something that everybody in the area should be aware of and plan accordingly.
Thank you, Commissioner Deal. I think that fit beautifully in the comment section of that heading.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing. And let the record show that Commissioner Roberts has just joined us. Welcome, Commissioner Roberts. All righty, then let's move along to the approval of the consent calendar. Is there any discussion that we'd like to have on that? Anyone have issues? No? We got nothing. All right, we can have a motion then for the approval of the consent calendar?
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
Okay, thank you.
Second?
Thank you. There's been a motion by Commissioner Gomez, a second by Commissioner Deal, I believe, to approve the consent calendar as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, wait a minute. Because we have a remote commissioner today, we have to do this a little differently. We have to have a roll call vote on every one of these. So, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Getzelman?
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts? Commissioner Gomez?
Aye.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Aye.
Commissioner Deal?
Aye.
Commissioner Monsalve?
Aye.
Commissioner Work?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Gomez?
Aye.
I think you skipped.
Wait, you said Gomez twice. I think you
Oh,
didn't
did
say
I?
Gonzalez.
You
Okay,
missed.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Starts with a G. You
Sorry
were real
about that.
close. Yeah.
Motion carries, motion passes.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to do a little, it's been requested that we switch the first two items. So instead of item number 2 being the first item up this morning, we're going to start with item number 3. So, staff, when you're ready. I'm sorry, I should announce this. This is PLN number 220125, the Monterey County Sheriff's Posse grounds. So, staff, when you're ready.
Good morning, Commission. Staff has received a request from the applicant for a continuance to a date certain of August 12th, 2026. Staff will pause now for the Commission to consider the request.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners? Commissioner Deal?
Was the secretary going to weigh in?
I don't know, you going to weigh in, Ms. Secretary?
We do have availability on that agenda date.
Thanks. I was just assuming, is this the request of the applicant? Is that what I heard from staff?
No.
Yes, through the chair, this is a request from the applicant.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, any further comments? No? Okay. All right, a continuance just means we get to continue it, doesn't it? We don't have to vote, do we? Nope.
And
Oh,
public,
we need to vote on the motion to continue. Do
Public
we
comment.
need to do public comment on the motion? Okey dokey. We will do that then. Public comment then. We have a continuation being requested. Are there anyone in the public that would talk to us? Yes, sir. Please come forward and give us your name if you would, please. Thank you. Now, this is on the continuance, sir. This is, we're not. Can I make a comment? Oh, absolutely, sure. As long as you understand, we're not really talking about the project.
September of '92, we had a meeting with the posse and all the neighbors on our concerns of conscience they have. They basically recommended that they would consider not having concerts anymore, and with the noise problems we have from it. In 1993 of September, they had so many concerts in that 1 year period. We had another meeting with them. And you got a copy of the letter there, basically at the bottom. Response to the neighbors. Said basically we'll stop those events put on by professional promoters that involved objectable noise levels. It went fine until about 10 years ago, and they started up again. And every time they have a concert, the sheriff department receives probably 5 or 6 calls from people for noise complaints. The lady at the office of sheriff that you call into says she gets more calls out in our area for noise complaints than any other area. The promoters come in, traffic sparks up and down the road on Old Natividad, blocks people's driveways, you can't get in and out. The noise is deafening. You sit out in your patio trying to have a barbecue with some friends, and you can't even hear your music because of their music. Super loud. And I live probably a half mile behind it. My property line borders the posse. The neighbors are just getting completely fed up with it. The promoter's making money, the posse's making money at our expense. We don't mind the big hat, we don't mind the rodeos, we don't mind the renting out for weddings and parties, it's fine. When the big hat has their party and the music's playing, you can hardly hear it. It's when they have these concerts, they come in, they put big stages up, and it's totally out of hand. And we recommend you approve the rest of the items, but not the concert. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you sharing with us. Sure. Just remember that we're trying to just talk about the continuance because this item will come back.
Right.
Okay. Well, right now, they're requesting a date. What was the date?
August 12th.
August 12th. Yes, please share as long as you're here. I mean, we don't want to turn you away if you've come all the way
All
down
right.
here.
So I'm also a neighbor that backs to the Sheriff Posse grounds. Lived there since 1980. Most of the noise complaints I have is not from the Sheriff Posse grounds. Matter of fact, they are very courteous and stop at often 9 p.m. There are a lot of private parties all over the neighborhood that go on till 2 a.m. Those are the ones that bother me. So as far as I'm concerned, the Sheriff Posse grounds can continue on as they do. I do, like that they have that for the public to have, rodeo competitions and motorcycle races and all the stuff that they do, and I have no problem with it, so.
Well, good. Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you sharing that. All righty. Are you going to share too?
Absolutely. Anthony Lombardo, the applicant's representative. I apologize to the commission. I have no client representative here today to help me, so I can't. It's difficult for us to proceed without the affected party present. Everybody on their board is otherwise engaged or out of state today. They're also, I'm not certain the notice was posted properly either, so I thought it'd save us a lot of grief, and if we can do it in August, if that works for everybody. So apologize for that. I didn't realize everyone was going on vacation today and leaving me to hold the bag. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We've heard from the applicant. We've heard from the public. Are there any comments online by any chance, Madam Clerk? Anyone?
There are no additional emails and no hands raised.
Okay, very good. All right, then we have done that. And Commissioner Deal?
Are we back to the commission?
We are, in fact, back to the commission.
Unless staff had something to add, I'm looking and not seeing anybody reach for a microphone.
No one seems to be doing that, no.
I'm going to start by a more general comment that I hope will be addressed when this comes back, if not before, which is reading through this report and the correspondence, I was interested to learn that unpermitted events appear to be being facilitated by the Special Events Task Force. And I'd certainly like some more clarity around how that could be, given that I would assume that if a county task force is working with an event, that they would ask that the event, to look at the permit for the event so that we make sure we're in compliance. So it's not specifically about this, but it came to me as a result of reading through the staff report on this issue and the correspondence suggesting that the Special Events Task Force be a part of the permitting environment. But with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and move continuance as recommended by staff.
Thank you, Commissioner Deal. Do we have a second?
Now, do we want to wait until August 12th?
Just a moment, please, ma'am. We have a process we have to go through. So since public comment period was, I believe, closed, we would need a motion to reopen it. If it hasn't been closed, I believe that it was closed, though. So we need to reconsider that to allow other people to speak. We can't have that process ignored.
And yes, in answer to your question, it'll be back on the 12th. So you can,
And so we can speak then and you guys
right.
your mind before the-
Yep. You can do it again.
All right.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Roberts?
I'd like to second Commissioner Deal's motion, but I do want to make sure that the members of the public that are here or online interested in speaking on this are on the interested party, interested parties list so that they get direct notification of when this item will appear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for those of you who have come and want to share, there is a list that we have that you get correspondence from the county that keeps you up to date on this particular item. So if that's important to you, how do they go about doing that? How do they go about letting you know if there's members of the public out there that would like to?
Through the chair, the project planner, Taylor Price, is happy to make himself available and provide contact information.
Okay. Everybody get that? We're good? Okay.
The project planner, Taylor Price, will make himself available after this item to provide his contact information, and you can then be added to the interested parties list and therefore would be notified of the next public meeting on this item.
Raise your hand, Taylor. That guy, if you want to talk to him, if you want to be on the list to be notified. Talk to that gentleman. All right, very good. So we have Commissioner Shaw, excuse me.
Thank you. So something that I didn't see addressed in the staff report, but I've noticed that there was a lot of correspondence and comments in the staff report that they've received no complaints. And as we heard today, there obviously have been noise complaints. So I would love to have some sort of information about how the sheriff handles those noise complaints that come in, and if it's similar to what happens in District 2 in North County, in that if you call the sheriff for a noise complaint and you do not request a callback, that complaint is disregarded and it goes nowhere. So I'm wondering if that's the case, that there have been complaints, but people don't know that they need to ask for a callback in order to have that actually dealt with. So that would be great.
And that would be good. Good, thank you. I don't think a lot of people know that, so that was good. Good info. Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, how are the members of the community within that area notified?
About what?
Well, that there's going to be an event, or that we're going to have this particular meeting on the 12th of August.
Please, Madam Secretary.
I can start and then go back to staff for any other additional notifications. So we typically do have an interested parties list, one, which Taylor's the contact for. We also do a public hearing notice, and we have a specific radius. And I believe the vicinity map was attached to the staff report, that there's a certain distance and around the posse grounds or wherever we have a project requiring a discretionary approval. They're notified about, I believe, 10 days in advance. Is that correct?
Somebody answer.
And it's posted in the newspaper as well, and typically posted on site.
Yeah.
I guess our letter sent to the residents within whatever that radius is, and what is the radius?
Don't think so.
The notice is sent to a 300-foot radius.
We all organized? Yeah. So are we good then, guys?
Maybe I didn't quite hear. You said within a 300-foot radius, a letter is sent to the homes in that area?
Correct. Yes, that map, correct.
Yeah, right there. See, Commissioner Gonzalez?
Mr.
That's where it's sent, in that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you. So this is, the referral that I've put in is directly about this, because 300 feet is absolutely nothing. And this has been an issue, a bone to pick that I've had for a while, that most people who are affected by developments of this magnitude are not going to get notice about this until the county does a better job of expanding that radius. So yeah, that map is not very many people.
Okay. Anyone else? We got that covered? Alrighty, I believe we have a motion by Commissioner Deal, and we have a second by Commissioner Roberts to continue this item to a date certain of August 12th, correct? August 12th? Alrighty, very good. And we'll need a roll call then, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Getzelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes?
Commissioner Mendoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Deal?
Yes.
Commissioner Monsalve?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, staff. Thank you, everybody. We will move back then, we'll just move forward, but with the first item that we had on the agenda for today, which is, actually it's called, the number is a reference, REF, reference number 260014. It's the County of Monterey Capital Improvement Program report for the fiscal year. And staff, when you get yourselves organized, you can just start.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is John Snively. I'm the Administrative Operations Manager with Public Works Facilities and Parks, here to present to you the annual report on our Capital Improvement Program 5-year plan annual update for fiscal year 26-27 through 2030-31 for review and finding as to consistency with the general plan and local coastal plan. This is an annual report that we bring typically in May, so we're a couple weeks later than usual. But the purpose of the report is for the commission to review two lists. One, the projects that are added to the capital improvement plan for the upcoming fiscal year. A second list showing projects that have been previously approved but are continuing work into the upcoming fiscal year. The capital improvement plan is a working document that the county prepares each year and the Board of Supervisors adopts, which captures capital infrastructure improvement projects with a value of over $100,000 and expected lifespan of more than 1 year. So it's not everything that the county is working on, but it is the major infrastructure projects anticipated for the upcoming fiscal year. What's included with the report and the packet is an Exhibit A resolution finding that the projects in the draft CIP going to the board are consistent with the applicable plans. Attachment to that resolution is the aforementioned list of projects. There's four, that attachment is broken up into 4 sections. There's a summary table showing first the new projects added to the CIP for the upcoming fiscal year and the anticipated dollar amount for both the fiscal year and the total project budget. Following that is the same list of projects, but additional detail, including the findings made by HCD staff for those projects, as well as a project description. And then point 3 and point 4 of that attachment are the previously approved projects for your reference. So today we are asking the commission to make this finding and forward the resolution to the Board of Supervisors, which will be included in our items scheduled to go to the board on June 16th for final adoption. We have staff on the Zoom call who are available to answer any project-specific questions. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the CIP process, as well as we have Edgar here for any HCD-related questions. So with that, I'll end my comments, and thank you for your consideration today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All righty. Commissioners, do we have questions? Commissioner Deal.
I have comments.
That's good.
That's because I have been had the privilege of sitting on this item for over 25 years now. And when it first came, it was completely incomprehensible on any number of counts. And every year it's gotten better. And this year, I just want to commend anybody who wants to understand what's going on in the heads of Public Works and why they're doing what they're doing. This report will really help you understand it. It's the best one so far. I really appreciate it. And I just can't say that enough, given that it's complicated and that this one minimizes the small font and maximizes the accessible information, and I am thrilled with it. That being said, I do note that good information does prompt questions, because the more you know, the more you want to know. And one of the things we've really struggled with over time with this report is that the goal for the Planning Commission is to recommend to the board that what's being done is furthering the objectives of the general plan. It's consistent with it, but one step further is to say, are these things that are helping us get where we said we wanted to go? And over time, that goal does change faster than the general plan, I think. And even though it was very much on our minds in 2010, it's even more on our minds now that the facilitation of the development of affordable housing has got to be a major priority that we all have to focus on throughout whatever we do. One of the ways we can facilitate affordable housing is to look at infrastructure that will be available for development sites that might host it, thus making it easier to develop those sites. We now just recently had a project in the mouth of the Carmel area where the project was going up under the builder's remedy, and one of the things that was discussed was the cost of development, keeping the cost of housing high. An example of what I'm talking about here is part of that was managing floodwater. So in that area, there is a partial response to flooding issues in place. that project could not contribute to a county project to complete that because there wasn't an identified project. And I'm talking about the pipeline that comes down, connects with the Rancho Cañada in place established pipeline. So I guess my comment, question, request is that separate from all the things we see here, can we look at projects where we could identify a project that would allow a fair share contribution by someone to facilitate the development of their housing and get us these problems solved? Because they couldn't do that in that case because there wasn't an identified project. So I know Public Works is thinking about that. That's a very long comment and somewhat geeky, but I think it's really important is to ask Public Works to consider the identification of projects that could help incrementally with things like that or in time with the development of a actual housing. In that case, I really think it would, in my own mind, it's a no-brainer because it's a very low cost to solve a big problem that's halfway there that we've already made somebody else do significant work. So that's my long-winded comment, and I would happy to hear from staff about it, although I don't expect them to resolve it at this time.
Thank you, Commissioner Deal. Staff, do you have any, you want to comment on that?
Yes, good morning, Chair. This is Director Randall Ishii, Director of Public Works, Facilities and Parks. Those are excellent comments and concerns expressed by Commissioner Deal. We, as staff at Public Works, are aware of the flooding challenges in and around that area known as Drainage Area 27. That is something that we will take back and we will look further into in hopes of furthering a future project. And thank you very much for pointing it out for us.
Thank you, Director. Appreciate that. Commissioner Deal, further follow-up?
Yes, and I want to thank Director Ishii, as always, for cutting to the immediate, what are we going to do? My larger comment, though, is that when we continue to build off of this report, where we can identify similar opportunities, that would be really helpful. And this might be a good place to do it to help the Board of Supervisors as they make their priority decisions about what projects we're going to fund. So that was an example meant to illuminate a larger hope that we could continue to leverage off all the work that's gone into this report. It's not just a check in the box. It's really a policy tool. And so now that we've got the policy tool, what policy do we want to forward? I'm suggesting it's housing, and I'm suggesting highlighting projects that would facilitate the development of affordable housing would be a great next step for further improvement of the already excellent report.
Thank you. All right. Commissioners, any other comments about the report? No, I don't see anyone raising a hand. Everybody must be very happy with it. That's great. I love that. Very well. We just need to receive this report, right, Madam Secretary? That's all we have to do with this?
I believe you are receiving it and, sorry, I'm
Oh, no, we do have to make.
Yeah, I believe there's a motion to forward on to the board that it's consistent with the general plan.
And staff,
plans.
do you have any comments at all? No? No?
No comments. No.
No comments. That's it? What? Oh, yeah, you want them to chime in too? All righty. Is there anyone in the public that would like to come forward and talk to us about the plan, about the Monterey County Improvement Program for the year before it goes to the Board of Supervisors? I see no one in the chambers jumping up. Is there anyone online, perhaps?
No emails and no hand raised on Zoom.
All righty. Thank you very much. Very good. Do we have a, yes, Madam Secretary, did you want to jump in? Nope, you're good. Okay. Do we have any, we would like to entertain a motion then to move this along to the Board of Supervisors? Commissioner Deal?
I would like to so move with thanks.
And I would like to echo that. It's a very nice report. Thank you very much. You did I think you did a great job. I haven't been here as long as Commissioner Deal, but it looks good to me. So thank you very much. Was there a second for that motion? Commissioner Mendoza seconds. All right, then we have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Deal, a second by Commissioner Mendoza. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Getzelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts? Yes. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Deal?
Yes.
Commissioner Monsalve?
Yes.
Commissioner Work?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you, staff. I appreciate your excellent work on that report. Thank you. All right, we will move along then and get us back to our kind of back in order. We'll move along to item number 4 on the agenda, which is PLN number 220088, The Ranch Club, Inc. Staff, when you are, need to get seated, and then when you're ready, please begin.
Good morning, Chair Getzelman and Planning Commission. My name is McKenna Bowling, and today staff is presenting project file PLN 220088, The Ranch Club. The subject property is located at 14 Arroyo Sequoia in Carmel within the Greater Monterey Peninsula Area Plan. The subject parcel is zoned resource conservation with design control and site plan review overlays within the inland area. The project before you today involves a combined development permit consisting of an amendment to a previously approved use permit that allowed construction of Santa Lucia Preserves Country Club and accessory structures and the use of these structures for dining and social events. This amendment would allow for an additional social event location known as the Redwood Grove. Santa Lucia Preserve Phase B subdivision final map amendment to Lot 98 to redesignate homeland to Rancho land and reconfigure the open lands boundary, and an administrative permit to allow installation of a driveway in the site plan review or S district. The approved use permit, PLN 990037, allowed construction of Santa Lucia Preserves Country Club and other facilities. This prior combined development permit also authorized SLP to host various events at these facilities. And while the Redwood Grove, as shown on screen in a blue circle, located on Lot GG, wasn't specifically named as an approved location, it had historically been used by SLP for private social gatherings. Social gatherings at the Grove include weddings, educational lectures, and other similar events for members and their guests. Use of the Redwood Grove is not open to the general public and does not include construction of any permanent structures. To provide adequate access to Lot GG, the project also includes a final map amendment to change the designation of Lot 98 from homeland to Rancho land and reconfigure the designated open lands area on the property. The proposed reconfiguration would allow installation of a formalized driveway designed with a vehicular turnaround. This would also facilitate the recreational community use of Lot GG by providing formalized access from Lot 98 to the Grove for various day-use recreational activities and social and community gatherings, including hiking trails. In 1998, the Phase B final map for Santa Lucia Preserve was recorded, depicting locations of homeland boundaries and open land boundaries for each of the 254 residential lots created by the subdivision. The subject property is identified as Lot 98 of the SLP Phase B. The proposed project is limited to redesignating Lot 98's homeland boundary to Rancho lands and the construction of a driveway leading to an adjacent Redwood Grove. The proposed project does not increase the number of lots analyzed under the EIR and does not increase the subject property's anticipated development potential. In fact, the overall build-out of SLP is reduced by 1 unit through implementation of this project. Therefore, the scope of work analyzed under the EIR remains stable, and the proposed project scope requires no major revisions to the EIR or that would involve new significant environmental impacts. The Santa Lucia Preserve Final Environmental Impact Report was certified by the Board of Supervisors on February 6, 1996. To reflect the changes proposed in this project, county staff prepared an addendum pursuant to CEQA Guideline Sections 15164. As proposed, the project involves redesignating Lot 98 from homeland to rancho land and reconfiguration of the designated open land area on the property. The reconfiguration, again, would allow installation of a formalized driveway designed with a vehicular turnaround. Redesignation of the homeland boundary to rancho lands and reconfiguration of the open land area would not impact other natural resources, including archaeological, biological, or geological. The proposed boundary redesignation and subsequent development of a formalized driveway will not result in any new environmental impacts. Therefore, there are no substantial changes in the project, no substantial changes in circumstances, and no new information of substantial importance which would require major revisions to the EIR due to the involvement of new significant effects or a substantial increase in the severity of previously identified significant effects. Staff found non-substantive typos in the resolution and recommends that the Planning Commission make the revisions to the resolution and including the findings shown on this slide. Therefore, staff recommends, with the revisions to the resolution incorporated, that the Planning Commission recommend to the Board of Supervisors consider the prepared addendum together with the certified EIR pursuant to CEQA Guideline Section 15164 and approve a combined development permit consisting of a final map amendment, an amendment to a previously approved use permit, and an administrative permit to allow installation of a driveway in the S District. This concludes staff's presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Bowling. Appreciate it very much. Commissioner Roberts.
Just for my own clarification, homeland designation is a place that an individual private home could have been built, and rancho land will now make it a common use area for the private residents. Is that true?
Through the chair, yes, Commissioner, that is correct. I also want to bring to the attention of the commission that today's action before you is a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors and not necessarily an approval or denial, but just a recommendation because the final map requires board consideration.
Okay. And then just to follow up on that, then my understanding is that there will be one less homeland site available on the preserve with the change in this land use designation.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Deal?
Thank you. Can you clarify for me if there are any existing conservation easements on this property, and if so, or if not, what's the plan going forward?
There are existing conservation scenic easements on the property.
Through the chair, the existing open lands boundaries are held by the Santa Lucia Conservancy in a deed of conservation easement. And so as part of this final map amendment, it would be to reconfigure those open lands boundaries. And prior to the board considering that final map amendment, the Santa Lucia Conservancy would have to authorize that amended deed of conservation. And the applicant is currently in communication with Santa Lucia Conservancy, and they're aware of the timings.
Understood. I'm assuming there's no net loss of area under easement? Just, it would be minor if there were. It would be a helpful finding if it were the case.
It will increase by 0.2 acres, but as you said, it's a small difference in what's existing.
What will increase?
The
Which
open
way?
land, the open land boundary will increase by 0.2 acres.
So we're actually increasing the amount of land under the conservation easement.
That is correct.
Thank you. That's very helpful. One other very minor point. Reading the staff report, it talks about events is on page 3 and says all outdoor gatherings will be subject to a special events permit issued by the permitting department. All special events? I mean, if somebody wants to walk in there and have a wedding for 10 people, they don't usually have an event. And if so, I mean, it would be a little bit confusing. And then all of the discussion of the on-site parking management, off-site shuttle program, is that intended to apply to things within the Santa Lucia Preserve, or is that intended to apply to areas that are outside of the preserve?
To answer both parts of your question, the specific part in the resolution regarding special events permit is one of the errors that staff is proposing to correct through today. And additionally, the shuttle service applies to only use of the Redwood Grove as a way to transport the guests from the initial main entrance area to the Grove, since there's no parking on site at the Grove area.
So all that is internal to the preserve. Why do we care? I mean, isn't that kind of HOA level stuff?
It is.
We don't maintain those roads.
We do not maintain the roads. It's more so just for emergency and use of the facilities to ensure they have adequate and safe access for guests and staff during these events while they're held.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Very good. Fellow commissioners, any further questions of staff? Nope, I see no one. All right, very good. The applicant or the applicant's agent, would you please, if you'd like to, make a comment or two?
Members of the Commission, Joel Panzer, Maureen Ruck, Planning Consultants, representing the Ranch Club, Inc. today. Today we have in the audience Karen Baxter, who's the CEO of the Santa Lucia Preserve, and Donald Daly, who's the general manager of the clubs. With respect to Commissioner Deal's comment about HOA, I wonder if we might just take a 30,000-foot comment, and I'll be brief. I know you have two other items behind you. And then I would like to come back and get into the specifics. So if I may have Ms. Baxter come up and just talk generally, because the Commissioner Deal, as she noted earlier, has been around and really has a good understanding of that project. And this would be helpful, I think, as we talk about this permit for the other commissioners to generally understand how that place is organized, because it is kind of a closed loop that provides all of its services. So, Ms. Baxter?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, thank you for the time. I'm Karen Baxter, and I'm the CEO of the Santa Lucia Preserve. And my job basically revolves around the coordination of 5 entities that manage that property. And the big one is this conservancy. And I think you heard a positive return on that land use there. We work closely with Jameson, Executive Director of the Conservancy. This is a private property. It is not fenced off. We would never do that because we have a lot of animals and whatnot moving through. That's very important to the crux of that development. But also we have the Ranch Club and the Golf Club, and you'll hear from Donald on those 2 club management opportunities. And then also we have the CSD, Community Services District, as we do our own water, utilities, not PG&E, and the HOA. So the point of the matter is there's 5 entities that closely manage this property. And even though it's circled by invisible boundary, we very much comply with those conditions of approval that were very important for me to understand 11 years ago when I took this job. So maybe you don't know, maybe you're not as familiar with it as you once were back then, but I want to try to give you some assurance that it's very tightly monitored, very tightly managed, and we respect the land, the county, and all the pieces that go together to make that work. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better picture of the preserve. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then just as it relates to, I see it as condition number 6, but if Mr. Daly can come up and just generally talk about the country club permit and the offerings, and again, those are limited to members and guests. So I think this will be helpful, and then I'll get to the substance of our conversation with the commission.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Donald Daly. I'm the general manager of the Ranch Club and Golf Club. And in short, the Redwood Grove, and along with a lot of the Ranch Club amenities, are social gathering spots for our members and their guests. So it's a private community, private club, no public access to those locations unless they're invited guest members. In the particular Redwood Grove, we host everything from small wedding ceremonies, some lunches, some educational events. Members use it as part of our hiking network. So we have about 100 miles of hiking trails. So the Redwood Grove just happens to be part of that. And the clubs themselves, we host like many events from birthday parties to 4th of July, Memorial Day. So it's a social gathering spot for our residents and club members. But to access the club facilities, you have to be a club member. And similarly with the golf club, different entity, but it's a private club. You have to be a member and invited guests to play up there. So kind of the general overview of what we have up there amenity-wise. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I did submit a letter on behalf of the applicant dated June 8th. Ms. Bowling referred to an errata sheet, so I had a couple items that I had asked to be clarified. Pardon me. Today you heard a comment regarding the final map amendment and a request to make a change in the resolution relative to timing. From my experience, it sort of takes that piece out of sequence. It's asking if the conservation easement be submitted and approved. Normally what happens is the commission would make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors to approve a change in the conservation easement. Then there's a final map amendment piece that comes through. It goes in with a plat and a legal description to the county surveyor. There's a fee paid for that service. So by taking it out of sequence, the applicant theoretically is going to spend money for a legal description to get it signed and approved that's not been blessed by the county surveyor. So I wanted to bring that aspect to your attention. I would also say, if I can get the overhead device, slide, monitor, whatever you want to call it. And if that image can be brought up for the commission. And this may take a moment. Let me then just make a quick shift. So that's my comment on the final map amendment. Ms. Bowling has mentioned there's a couple places where the construction of the driveway should be mentioned, because that's really what drove this whole thing, is to be able to install that driveway and to be able to have folks walk to the Redwood Grove for these very limited events. Our operation plan talks about 20 a year. The permit says you can have up to 30 a year. And the reality is it'd probably be closer to 20. Finding number 4, evidence D prohibits food and beverage service. And I note in my letter that as guests arrive, it may be that they're offered a bottle of water, depending if it's a warm afternoon, or if it's a celebration of life type event, they may be greeted with a glass of champagne. So I would not like that prohibition. And then the other piece is, Mr. Daly had mentioned every now and again, maybe they have a box lunch. There's a couple of findings and evidence that refer to that. Finding 1, evidence B, finding 2, evidence B. If that prohibition for food and beverage service remains, it would mean that you would need a combined development permit amendment if you wanted to have a lunch at some point. I just don't think that level of management is necessary given what we're doing there, and I'd ask that the food and beverage service be omitted. Yes? How about if you distribute it that way? Yeah, if you would make a copy. What I attempted to put up was an agreement from 3 years ago with the Conservancy, where they've already agreed to do this amendment, and they were going to take the lead on it. So the interim steps suggested by staff, as I noted, there's sort of a procedural out of sequence piece, but I just wanted to confirm with the commission, as Ms. Baxter has mentioned, we've coordinated closely with the Conservancy. They're aware of this permit, and hopefully that letter will give you that comfort. I had a couple other requests for finding 4 evidence E to note that the entities that provide security and fire are already aware of this permit. We submitted a letter today from the Santa Lucia Community Services District to note that there's been no issues with parking or management, no neighbor complaints, nothing in 17 years, and that'll lead me up to condition number 6. Yesterday afternoon, I got an email and it was in response to a communication from the Conservancy, and this is from Fiona Jensen, who's present today. I've asked that condition 6 be omitted in its entirety. I agree with Commissioner Deal's comment. It's an HOA issue. I don't know what added value there is to have the county come in and try to, come in with a comprehensive plan. So what Ms. Jensen says is staff continues to support the application of condition number 6 as it's applicable to the entire Santa Lucia Preserve and its entities, not just the Ranch Club events operation, and should be updated accordingly to ensure all events have adequate access and facilities and daily limitations. I would say that is inconsistent. I don't know why it's needed, but it's inconsistent with section 21.74.120 of the zoning ordinance, and this is entitled Amendments to Use Permits. Item B basically says if it's not a minor amendment, the proposed amendment shall be taken to the decision-making body of the original permit and processed consistent with the original permit procedures. Those permit procedures have not been identified. So were those requirements mandated in 1999 when that original permit was issued? I don't believe that they were. As it came up. Let me double back. If the commission has this. So this is an agreement that was prepared by the Santa Lucia Conservancy, dated December 2022, and it basically says they'll facilitate the conservation easement amendment on Lot 98. And item number 2 indicates that they're going to execute and record the conservation easement. So hopefully that gives staff some assurance that will be done. And again, my comment is the out of sequence piece. But let me now just focus back on the amendments to use permit. So there's nothing in the staff report that provides, or the findings and evidence that provides any indication that there's an issue with parking on roadways or chemical toilets or people taking shuttle buses. The resolution notes in one location that they routed the project out to Monterey Regional Fire. There were no comments. The email that I provided this morning from the CSD that does security indicates that there's no issues. And there are several other permits. Some of the uses that we're talking about were granted through the subdivision, which is PC 94067. They're also asking that the golf club, if they have activities or events up there, be amended PC 94218. And what I've read to you indicates that that's not what the zoning ordinance mandates. And then finally, I would say a lot of the uses that were granted through the subdivision. And again, Commissioner Deal was here through that final phase. They were both vesting tentative maps, and those tentative maps convey development rights. And it says, for example, Government Code 66498.1b, when a local agency approves or conditionally approves a vesting tentative map, that approval shall confer a vested right to proceed with development in substantial compliance with the ordinances, policies, and standards that were in effect at that point in time. So that goes back to 1993. So again, the basis for requiring condition number 6, I don't think is supported by findings and evidence. I don't think it's consistent with the zoning ordinance. I don't think it's consistent with the rights that were granted under the Subdivision Map Act. And I just don't know what added value it is for county staff to then try to figure out how management events are. As Ms. Baxter indicated, there's close coordination between entities. There's been no issues. And I'd ask again that condition number 6 be omitted in its entirety. So thank you for your time. And we ask the commission to take action today. We've been at this for about 3.5 years for a driveway and a 20-event addition to the preserve. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Panzer, and we will certainly try to get this solved for you today. All righty, let's go to public comment then. Is there anyone else in the chambers that would like to speak to this item? Please come forward. Nope, seeing no one coming forward. Is there anyone online?
There are no additional emails and no hand raised.
Okay, very good. Then we would like to bring it back. Oh, there we go. Commissioner Roberts, please.
I was actually going to ask Mr. Panzer for some clarification.
Okay, great. Mr. Panzer, please.
Yes, Commissioner.
I wanted to follow where you're asking us to consider differences. And
oh, yeah.
Is it in the finding? I think you said in the finding and evidence 4, maybe under C, D, and E, or yeah, C, D, and E. I think what you're talking about, and then also condition number 6. I heard.
Oh, yes. So finding number 4 essentially just says it prohibits food and beverage service. So my take on it, given the nature and the very limited use out there, is it's mostly beverages what would occur. You know, you're greeted with a glass of champagne or a bottle of water as written. That finding precludes that. And then there's another finding, twice it mentions, as I note here, where there may be an occasional group lunch is the way it's expressed in the permit, the draft permit. And so what I'm saying is if food service is prohibited, and we're not contemplating it, but if you did want it, it would require this permit, should it be approved, to be amended to allow a lunch.
To follow up, Mr. Chair.
Sure, certainly.
I'm not reading it as it's prohibited. It says it will not be provided on lot for 98. And so I don't know if it's a difference between you're not going to be cooking and, actually providing food that is cooked on site. I don't know, maybe county will be able to help us with that also, but it doesn't say prohibited.
And that's probably the way I interpret it. Now, if you want to say it's not cooked on site, that's probably okay because you have to have a food service facility permit to serve food in this sort of setting. But if that's a clarification that could be made or somehow wordsmithed, that's the comfort level I'm looking for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Any other commissioner? Staff, would you like to address that last one as long as it's on everybody's mind real quick? What's your
Yes.
interpretation of that?
For clarification, finding 4 evidence D is one of the items that will be adjusted. It was a typo, and it was specifically regarding catered food and beverages because there are numerous facilities on site within the SLP that have the facilities to support food and beverages. It was just to establish that catered food would not be an allowed use on this site because there are facilities in existence to support that.
Sure. Commissioner Roberts.
So in the situation that Mr. Panzer is referring to, if they brought boxed lunches from one of their facilities already on site, is that an allowed use?
That would be allowed.
Okay, so then I guess we need to clarify what this says because it is a little bit vague, at least in my opinion, of what is intended.
Yes, staff is prepared to make those adjustments.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Deal.
Yeah, staff, do you have any remembrance of how many conditions of approval there were on the original permit for this particular subdivision?
I do not have it off the top of my head, but I'm happy to pull it up for you, Commissioner Deal.
I don't need anything but a general idea. My general impression is it's well over 100, and if it wasn't well over 200, I'd be surprised. This was discussed at such length over such a long period of time that the permitting is extremely complicated, and every step of the way is permitted up one side and down the other, and a whole bunch of legal activity resulted from the discussions around how these conditions were implemented. As a result, this is a well-supervised project, in my view, and what has come before us right here is we'd like to build a driveway over what was going to be a house lot and let people stand under some trees that they're already standing under. And maybe up to 200 people might stand under these trees on this lot, which is a fairly significant size. And in order to do that, we need to change some of our boundaries for what we're conserving officially and what we're not, and let some things be memorialized because we're being super careful because we had hundreds of conditions that we want to make sure we comply with. Subsequently, adding any unnecessary conditions is something that I would oppose. I mean, not actually not like. I would actually oppose that because I think it's really unnecessary, and this is a self-contained unit in the way that it's currently designed and operated. Anywhere else in the county, nobody would even know this was happening. First off, in any way, shape, or form. Nobody would bother to come in and correct a permit about building a driveway that they might or might not anybody ever see who wasn't part of the club. Whether they want to serve sandwiches or have somebody stand out there and provide canapes, I don't think it is of importance to the county of Monterey to the extent where we need to engage our ability to properly monitor conditions of compliance to take care of this. So I'm just going to leave it there while we have the further discussion, but I would ask staff, first off, I'm not quite clear on what errata staff is proposing because I can't find it. But second off, I would ask staff to look at everything and say, make sure we're not doing anything we don't absolutely positively need to do in this particular case, in this area, which is documentably as standalone as it is, and which is demonstrably coming in for a permit to be exactly on the right side of the law about something that's already going on. So just my request to staff is take another think this and say, what do we really, really, really have a public interest in monitoring?
Thank you, Commissioner Deal. Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you. I guess I was going to ask something along the same lines, and it could just, to me, I thought maybe it was a dumb question, but why do we care if it's catered or provided by them? Like, what is the significant difference? Maybe I just don't understand the significance of that difference.
Yeah, staff.
Through the chair, I think it's back to Commissioner Roberts' kind of read of it. It's that it's not going to be used as a facility where they wouldn't establish cooking facilities without going through that proper review. So it's kind of just clarifying that this is simply for driveway access. But staff is happy to remove that if there is no interest in kind of having that specifications of the property.
Thank you. I would not support that finding because I guess it just doesn't really. It's too vague, I guess. Like I guess you wouldn't want someone barbecuing out there, but catering could also be that they just bring it in pre-cooked off-site, and so I don't support that.
Sure. There was some communication from the agent about 2 years ago indicating that food wouldn't be provided on site, so that was kind of the initiation of this discussion. Again, we're happy to remove that if the applicant's desires have since changed. There's no utilities on site, so it couldn't really support those facilities to start with. But again, staff has no concerns about food necessarily being brought to some of these gatherings or drinks for that matter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And specific to condition number 6, there was some, I think it's really for more wastewater facilities because of the events. They are under 30 days, so they are able to provide chemical toilets. I think it's as a whole looking at all events that occur on the property, having specifications of where wastewater may be handled. Again, if that's not something the commission desires to go into interest, staff is happy to remove condition number 6. There was some concern from the Santa Lucia Conservancy that their events were not included in the proposed operations plan. And again, because this amends the 1999 permit, staff would encourage that all events kind of encompassed at that time continue to be brought forward today. So it maybe it's just an encouragement to the applicant to better reflect some of those historical uses from other entities that are not just limited to the Ranch Club for the board's consideration. And it's, again, really just making sure that for these more remote event sites, which I think is limited to the Redwood Grove, is ensuring that they do have adequate wastewater facilities for events over an hour. But that can also be something that's better detailed out in the resolution, and the preserve would be accountable for.
Sounds good to me. Commissioner Gomez, did you have your hand up?
No, I think that the issues that are raised both by Commissioner Shaw and Commissioner Deal were similar in mine in terms of what I was planning to ask, so I appreciate that.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Roberts, did you want to add something, please?
Well, I was going to say, if staff has already prepared alternate evidence and findings and evidence for that number 4, I'd be interested to see what it said and if that's agreeable to the rest of the commission. Or no, not yet.
I think based on the discussion that's happened thus far, staff is happy to remove evidence D. That just makes no mention to food and beverages. Alternatively, I think something more along the lines of this property does not have utilities and therefore does not support permanent cooking facilities, maybe another option.
Commissioner?
For me personally, I like the recognition of what it is. I mean, not having been on this property, understanding that it doesn't support it and that there's nothing out there to support it is helpful to me.
Yeah, something to that effect. Commissioner Deal?
Kind of the same question about lighting. Why do we have a lighting condition? We're building a driveway. Are we lighting the driveway? My guess is we're not.
That's just a standard condition, and that just goes with the fact that events such as weddings would oftentimes have decorative lighting on site. While they are temporary, we just want to assure that they do meet the exterior lighting guidelines that the county would.
Okay, I would advocate removing that one too. I think it's irrelevant and hasn't typically been used for temporary lighting. Again, and in general for staff, standard conditions are standard, but we need to check and make sure that they really are applicable, because we don't want to get into a situation where we're in any way not conscious about specifically what the conditions are in the ground. So given that, I am not concerned at all about actually what they do there. I don't believe we need to have a concern around wastewater. I suspect that an event that didn't have adequate facilities would not occur there, but if it did, I suspect it would be self-regulating, knowing the folks in that particular area. And I think in most of our cases, we like to have our sanitary facilities sanitary. So again, I would suggest maybe to the chair might be an opportunity for a very short break so that we can just get staff to think about exactly what changes we've talked about and how we'd like to accomplish them, so we record it really carefully. And then and I'm in agreement with the points of Commissioner Roberts. It'd be nice to say what we're thinking so that we can go back and look at that in the future and see if we can't get rid of a couple of conditions and make the appropriate changes with that, and be absolutely clear about any other errata that the staff is recommending that we recommend to the board, and including that maybe staff should comment on the timing issue with respect to the conservation easement. I'm not sure whether there's a substantive issue there or not, but maybe if we had a brief break, we could come back with some consolidated information, and besides, we could have a brief break.
I'm all for a brief break. Commissioner Roberts, let's just clean up a couple of comments and then we'll do that. Commissioner Roberts?
Yes, one more thing, and like with regards to the lighting, if we are approving, to me, I think this permit is allowing up to 30 events a year on this property.
Through the chair, that would be 20. There was a typo. There was a confusion between the maximum number of events that could occur with that would support chemical toilets versus what the applicant's actually proposing, which is 20. So that would be one of those corrections.
Okay, so we're approving up to 20 events a year. And so to me, the lighting, I mean, I'm sure it's a beautiful spot. I can imagine that twinkle lighting probably could get put up or whatever it is. And so if the intent was not to send up a, spotlight, whatever it is for the rest of the residents, again, if that's what we clarify, that would be important to me, because to me it is relevant that if there's not meant to be lighting, that we have some mention of what the expectation is.
Okay, very good. Well,
Through the chair.
oh, sure.
I'm pretty clear on some of the direction and happy to take a break to provide more red line revisions if that's something the commission desires. But I think at this point it's removing conditions number 4 and 6 that's relative to the lighting plan and the operations plan, but making more specific mentions probably in finding 2 regarding having downlit lighting, though it may be temporary, and then clarifying the finding number 4 regarding the food and beverages, and just that it shouldn't be used as a cooking facility because there are no utilities. I'm also happy to speak to the timing of the amended easement, if the commission would desire that now or after a break.
Okay. Let's do it after the break. When you get your thoughts together, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. Commissioner Shaw?
Thank you. Sorry. I just wanted to clarify, for me personally, when we talk about cooking out there, to be really clear in what you're writing, because someone could come out, you're saying there's no way to have a permanent cooking facility that I can get on board with, but saying that there can't be cooking out there, for me would be going too far, because maybe they want to have some tea and it's hooked up to a propane thing or what have you. I would not be okay with prohibiting that. So maybe it just needs to be clearer. I'm not sure exactly what you meant by that.
Cooking facility, but staff will clarify that. Or going back to county's definitions of what a kitchen is, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get all of that stuff worked out, and then we'll come back and we'll get together again in 15 minutes and talk about this and hopefully resolve it. So a 15-minute break, everyone. Okay, all righty, everyone. I'm going to make a command decision, mainly because I'm chairman, so I get to do that. We're going to begin again. And everyone is with us, I believe, except Commissioner Gomez, but he's probably just took me at my word when I said 15 minutes, so that's my fault. But he'll be back with us, I'm sure, very quickly. Otherwise, we have everyone here that was here when we left. So, staff, after reflection, shall we call it, do you have things you'd like to share with us?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Relative to the timing of the final map amendment, it's standard practice for the applicant to provide the plat maps and legal descriptions of the amended final map for Public Works review and approval before board consideration. This eliminates the need for an additional hearing after the board considers the final map amendment. Staff has explained this again to the applicant, and they concur with that timing, so there's no concerns there. McKenna will provide some of those requested red line changes.
Okay.
Can we please share staff right? Clarification, the HDMI, if staff could share through the HDMI.
We're working on it. Miss Melissa's on it now, so it'll be solved. If we only had commercials, we could run one. For the record, Commissioner Gomez has joined us with a new cup of coffee. Oh yeah, we better. Slight correction, everybody. We're going to interrupt just for a second, staff. I apologize. Quick consultation. We decided we better do a roll call vote just because Commissioner Monsalves is remote. So, Madam Clerk, can you give us a quick roll call to let everybody know who's here?
Commissioner Getzelman.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts. Commissioner Gomez.
Here.
Commissioner Mendoza.
Here.
Commissioner Deal.
Here.
Commissioner Monsalve.
Here.
Commissioner Work.
Here.
Commissioner Shaw.
Here.
Commissioner Gomez.
Here. He skipped Gonzalez again. You said Gomez twice.
I'm pretty sure I do. Okay. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Here.
All right.
And also, I would reflect that Commissioner Hartzell is still
She's
on
absent.
the commission, but absent.
Yes, Commissioner
Still
Hartzell is absent.
Yes.
But Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. All right, now, I apologize for that little sidetrack. Staff, where you never did get you never did use your screen. There it is. Okay, very good. We got the screen up.
So as directed by the commission, staff removed condition number 4 specific to the exterior lighting and has added a separate finding to finding 1 for evidence, finding 1 evidence L, requiring that if there is exterior lighting, even if it is temporary at the Redwood Grove, that it shall continue to be downlit and unobtrusive as required. Additionally, I'm going to scroll down to finding 4 evidence D, specifically with the food and beverages that has been in discussion. Staff reworded it to state that currently there are no utilities on site for either Lot 98 or Lot GG to support such permanent cooking facilities, and the applicant did agree with that change to this evidence. Staff went ahead and removed E regarding the emergency access as directed. The noise events finding, again, we removed the condition number 6 text because condition number 6 has been removed from the conditions of approval as directed. And if I scroll down to the map amendment, we added language here in blue stating that prior to board's consideration, the applicant/owner shall provide plat maps and legal descriptions of the proposed final map amendment to Public Works Facilities and Parks for review and approval. And this is the text that staff had shown earlier on screen as part of staff's errata. So with those edits, the removal of conditions 4 and 6, staff wanted to just show the red line versions for the commission.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Panzer, can I get you to give us a verbal opinion of the changes, if you agree or not?
Chair Joel Panzer here again. I just did want to clarify, I understand what they're saying about utilities for any cooking facilities. Lot 98 does have at the end of the driveway PG&E power and sewer, but I understand what staff is saying is that's not intended to serve the Redwood Grove. Right. So based on that clarification, yes, we have spoken to staff during the intermission. We understand what's been presented today, and we're in agreement. So thank you, Chair.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right, commissioners, thank you, staff. Unless there's something else you have for us? No?
Not at this time.
Okay,
thank
good.
you.
Commissioners, Commissioner Deal.
I'd like to move that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution recommending to the Board of Supervisors all of the things here enlisted and as amended in this hearing.
Very good. Thank you.
Second it.
Second. Okay, Commissioner Gomez. All right, we have a motion to recommend this project to the Board of Supervisors. All those in, we need a roll call. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Getzelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts? Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Deal?
Yes.
Commissioner Monsalve?
Yes.
Commissioner Work?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
You got Commissioner Gonzalez this time? Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. All right, moving along as quickly as we can. PLN number 250169. Michael Nunnally and Leah Sager, it looks like. Staff, when you're prepared, please begin.
Good morning, Chair Getzelman, Planning Commissioners. My name is Jordan Evans Polacco, and I'll be presenting staff's report on PLN 250169 Nunnally. The project is located at 3144 Spruance Road in Pebble Beach within the Del Monte Forest Land Use Plan. The subject property is zoned low-density residential with a maximum gross density of 1 acre per unit and a design control overlay in the coastal zone. The project involves a combined development permit to allow construction of a 3,430 square foot single-family residence with an attached 930 square foot attached garage, a 440 square foot detached garage, construction of a 700 square foot accessory dwelling unit, and the removal of up to 21 trees. The project meets all required site development standards for the low-density residential zoning district related to setbacks, height, and site coverage. The project includes an application for the removal of up to 21 protected Monterey pine trees.
Pursuant to Del Monte Forest Coastal Implementation Plan, a coastal development permit has been applied to this project for the proposed tree removal. Pursuant to the Del Monte Forest Coastal Implementation Plan as well, an arborist report was prepared to evaluate the health, structure, and preservation suitability for each tree within or adjacent to the proposed development. The report identified 61 trees on site. The site trees are located sporadically throughout the property and more heavily clustered in the center. The original project scope included the removal of 40 native trees. After discussions with HCD planning staff, the project scope was revised to reduce the tree removal to 24 and ultimately to 21. Staff met the applicant multiple times to ensure the project complies with the Del Monte Forest LUP policies 20-147-050C and 20-147-070B, which requires the tree removal be minimized. Through these discussions, the application made multiple revisions to the site plan, including relocating the proposed ADU to save a 38-inch Monterey pine, enhancing tree protection around a cluster of 11 Monterey pines, and reconfiguring the driveway. These efforts eliminated the need to remove 19 native trees, some of which were landmark pines. Therefore, as proposed, the project includes the removal of 21 Monterey pine trees, with only one landmark pine proposed for removal. 14 of the trees cited for removal are within the building footprint, and the remaining 7 are adjacent to the residence and would likely be impacted as a result of construction and excavation. As proposed in condition, the proposed tree removal is the minimum required under these circumstances of this case. The lot is heavily forested, and thus avoiding tree removal entirely is unfeasible for any reasonable development consistent with the neighborhood. The single-family dwelling is consistent in size with the other single-family dwellings within said surrounding neighborhood. In addition to being impacted by grading activities, the removal of these trees within close proximity to the development also helps reduce fuel loads near the proposed residential development, consistent with state fuel management guidelines. Condition number 8 has been applied to require the replanting of 22 trees as recommended by the arborist. This project warranted referral to the Del Monte Forest Land Use Advisory Committee because it involves a design approval subject to a public hearing. On May 21st, 2026, the Del Monte Forest LUAC voted unanimously in support of the project with no members absent. The LUAC meeting minutes were not available prior to this hearing. The single-family dwelling, attached garage, detached garage, and ADU will have a minimalist modern architectural style in a natural setting, with exterior colors and materials that consist of a walnut-colored concrete panel, the dark stain treated pine board, bronze light fixtures, lava stone veneer, and brown finished metal roofing. The exterior finishes are compatible with the surrounding environment and are consistent with the residential neighborhood character. The proposed exterior finishes would not detract from the surrounding natural environment and would be consistent with the surrounding residential neighborhood character. The subject property is not shown in Figure 3 of the Del Monte Forest Land Use Plan as being within the viewshed of the Point Lobo State Natural Reserve. Therefore, as proposed and conditioned, the project is not in conflict with the surrounding environment or within the surrounding residential neighborhood character and assures protection of the public viewshed and visual integrity. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission finds the project categorically exempt pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15303 and approve the combined development permit to allow a cap and DA for the construction of a 3,430 square foot single-family residence with an attached 930 square foot garage, a 440 square foot detached garage, a coastal administrative permit and DA for the construction of a 700 square foot accessory dwelling unit, and the removal of up to 21 trees. That concludes staff's presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you so very much. Commissioners, do you have questions of staff? Commissioner Deal.
Thank you. Did staff have anybody at the LUAC?
Through the chair, yes, both the designers and the owners were present at the LUAC.
I mean, does our staff have somebody? Did you attend?
Yeah, through the chair, yes. I am the liaison for the Del Monte Forest.
Right. Were there any comments during that discussion? Did they express any concerns, since we don't have the minutes?
There was one comment about the drainage and erosion control, but it was already implemented within the landscaping plan made by the designers, which reassured the concerns raised by the public.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, further questions? Nope, seeing none. All righty then. Would the applicant or the applicant's agent care to make a presentation? We don't have one. We have no one coming forward. Maybe someone online, perhaps.
Yes, we have Grant and Amanda online. You may speak.
Hi, everyone. My wife and I are the architects for this project. We are excited to have it presented to you. Thank you, Jordan, for presenting it. We have no additional comments to add, but we do feel that it is quite consistent with the neighborhood, and the materiality of the project will help it really disappear within the context. Thanks for your help, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Can I just ask a quick question? Are the condition, you've read the conditions for the project, and those are okay with you? Are they acceptable?
Yeah, they seem quite consistent. I think we'll have to discuss with staff as we get closer how best we will coordinate the exterior lighting plan to ensure that it's all dark sky compliant, which is our intent regardless. But I think nothing else is of concern. So we'll just speak with them as we continue through building and safety to make sure that that's approved.
Okay, great. Work all that stuff out in the future. Very good. All right. Is there anyone in the public, anyone here in the chambers that would like to speak to this item? Seeing no one coming forward. Anyone online, Madam Clerk?
There are no additional emails and no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, very good. All right, there was nothing then to staff. I don't think there was anything in the applicant's reply that you want to reply to. I mean, is there anything you want to add? Here's your chance.
Staff has no further comment.
Okay, very good. All right. Commissioners, then, let's discuss this project. Commissioner Roberts.
I have one minor typo question on finding 6, evidence A. It says a coastal development permit is required to authorize the removal of native trees greater, and then it says period. So I think there was probably meant to be a size or something written in there.
Through the chair, staff will make those corrections, but what's supposed to be in that finding is a diameter greater than 6 inches for protected trees require a coastal development permit in the coastal zone.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Roberts. Anyone else? Commissioner Deal.
Thank you. I think they might want to just double check that if we're going to put that number in. Once again, I just want to say that this is a permit because we have a certain number of trees that have to be removed. There's a threshold there, and there are no other requests for variances or special circumstances or any such thing. People have designed to the standards that they were given. I personally absolutely appreciate this and want to point out that it helps things go through so much easier when we simply have to deal with the one issue of monitoring the overall number of trees. And unless staff would like to just step in here, did you have anything you wanted to say at this point?
To Commissioner Roberts' comment, there is no size diameter threshold in Del Monte Forest Land Use Plan, so staff would recommend the removal of the word greater. So it's just that a coastal development permit is required for the removal of native trees, period.
Excellent.
That's good for you, Commissioner Roberts? Okay, very good.
That being the case, I'd like to move staff's recommendation.
All right, and Commissioner Gomez is going to second that for us. All right, and I too would like to thank the people who put this project together, because Commissioner Deal is absolutely right. When you design to the specifications that we have, it just makes everything easier for everyone. So thank you very much. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Deal. There we go. I'm sorry, losing it. And second by Commissioner Gomez. Roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Getzelman,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts, Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Deal,
Yes.
Commissioner Monsalve,
Yes.
Commissioner Work,
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Yeah, just proves how easy that was. That was great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. We'll move along to item number 6 on the agenda, which is PLN number 240111. Salib, Anthony Salib. Staff, when you're ready, please begin.
Good morning again, Chair Getzelman and Planning Commission. My name is McKenna Bowling, and today staff is presenting project file PLN 240111 Salib. The subject property is located at 25575 Chiquito Place, Carmel, within the Carmel Valley Master Plan. The parcel is zoned low-density residential with 1 acre per unit density, design control, site plan review, and residential allocation zoning overlays within the inland area. The project before you today is a combined development permit consisting of an administrative permit and design approval to allow construction of a 3,417 square foot, 2-story single-family dwelling with an attached 517 square foot garage and associated site improvements, including removal of 1 Monterey pine, and a use permit to allow development on slopes exceeding 25%. As delineated on the plans, the proposed project includes 4,206 square feet of development on slopes greater than 25%. In accordance with 2010 General Plan Open Space Policy 3.5, development on slopes exceeding 25% shall be prohibited unless there is no feasible alternative in which would allow development to occur on slopes of less than 25%, and the proposed development better achieves the resource protection objectives and policies contained in the general plan and applicable area plans and master plans. The majority of the subject property contains slopes exceeding 25% as shown on Monterey County GIS records and the attached project plans. As proposed, the residence and attached garage are sorted towards the front half of the property, which is the flattest portion of the property while still maintaining the required setbacks outlined in Title 21. The proposed driveway is constructed in a way to contour the existing slopes leading to the proposed residence and garage, while providing safe and adequate access for emergency vehicles. Additionally, reconfiguring the footprint of the residence would likely impact nearby trees and/or require further development on slopes to take place. Therefore, the proposed development on slopes better meets the objectives and policies within the general plan and Carmel Valley Master Plan. This project also includes the removal of 1 Monterey pine as shown on screen. The tree has a diameter breast height of 25 inches. The subject tree also has a notable lean with soil instability, and the project arborist deemed the tree a hazardous tree with a rating of 10. Consistent with Title 16, the removal of 3 or less protected trees in any 1-year period is allowed subject to a hazardous tree removal permit, which is processed ministerially via the permit center. This project went before the Carmel Valley Land Use Advisory Committee earlier this year and received a unanimous vote of support of the project as proposed. The colors and materials for the residence and attached garage include light brown stucco with dark bronze metal framing for windows and doors, and a dark bronze metal standing seam roof, and wood plank horizontal wood siding. The proposed colors and materials are consistent with the surrounding neighborhood character as well as the bulk and mass of the development. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission find the project categorically exempt pursuant to Section 15303 of the CEQA guidelines and approve a combined development permit consisting of an administrative permit and design approval to allow construction of a 2-story single-family dwelling with an attached garage and associated site improvements, including removal of 1 Monterey pine and a use permit to allow development on slopes exceeding 25%. This concludes staff's presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Bowling. And commissioners, do you have questions? Commissioner Roberts.
I'm wondering if you can bring up a map with the topo lines and help me understand. Yes. It looks like on the maps that I'm seeing that the back end of the lot where there's trees, there either isn't slope or the slope lines end on some of the trees, on some of the maps. And so I'm wondering if it's a flat surface up on top or if it's just that it's treed.
When looking at the map on screen, you are right. Towards the front half of the property is flatter, which is why the residence and garage are sited there. On screen, the little hashing marks for this slope map actually indicate where all the slopes exceeding 25% are. On the back half, there are some nearby trees, which is why siting the residence even further down slope would not only impact further slopes, but also impact nearby trees such as Monterey pines and oaks.
Through the chair, to clarify, then the large part of the triangle lot to me is the back end, and that back end is what I'm asking about. That's also sloped.
Yes.
Okay. On some of the maps throughout the project, for whatever reason, they wrote the APN through there, but didn't show topo lines. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Deal?
Yeah, looking at the hatching being over 25%, I think it's an understatement to say that the lot is mostly over 25% slope. And it is, if you think about where it is, it looks out a lovely view, not much flat ground. I note that the LUAC had a couple of members of the public raise some questions. Does staff want to address those at this point, or are they addressed in the ultimate project? A question about the number of driveways off the cul-de-sac and septic, I think, as well as some concern about PG&E that I don't quite understand.
Staff was able to separately address those, and primarily the concerns raised at the LUAC meeting were in regards to the construction management plan, given that this is the last house to be developed at the end of a cul-de-sac. Following that meeting, staff did speak with engineering services and confirmed that the project meets the standards regarding those construction management practices, and engineering staff has also applied a condition of approval to require a full construction management plan be submitted prior to issuance of any permits.
That's great. And then the leach field concern, I assume, was similarly addressed?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Thank you. Commissioner Deal? All righty. All right, seeing no one else with any questions on the commission, would the applicant or the applicant's agent care to make a presentation?
Formerly with Carmel Building and Design, where I was part of the design team for the project as well. This project offered some challenges in that it's a steeply sloped lot. It's also triangular in shape, so siting the house was a little bit tricky. We tried to keep it as close to the front of the property as possible, since that's the access for the property, which happens to be the short end of the triangle. So then it became a measure of moving the house down the hill until you got to a wide enough spot where you could meet the setbacks that were allowed. We did try and make sure we didn't affect any more trees than absolutely necessary, and this one pine is already, as noted, a hazard of 10. I've been in contact with the neighbors throughout the project, especially the neighbors to the right and left of the house, and then also through the LUAC experience. I spent about 30 minutes after LUAC explaining to the owners of the surrounding houses the process that the county goes through for the project and reassuring them of their concerns. Their main concerns were making sure that there was a feasible septic system that has been approved by Monterey County Environmental Health, so that's not a concern. The concerns about the driveway coming off the cul-de-sac, which I assured had to go through county engineering and through public works. And then the PG&E concern was there is a PG&E vault near the top of the property that is a traffic rated vault, and they wanted to make sure no one dug into PG&E lines. I assured them that as a condition that anyone doing construction has to call 811 and locate underground lines. So that's about all I have to say for the project. I'm available for questions if anyone has any. Thank you.
Very good, sir. Just a quick question. Have you looked over the conditions of approval? Are you okay with those?
Yes, they all seem standard to me.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. All right, then let's turn to the public. I'm guessing there's no one from the public here in the chambers, considering there isn't anyone else here. So maybe online there might be someone who'd like to speak with us.
We have no additional emails and no hands are raised. In Zoom.
Oh, I was wrong again. Okay. Well, that takes care of public comment. And there's no applicant rebuttal, I'm thinking. Staff, did you want to comment on it all and what you heard?
No, not at this time. Staff doesn't have any comments.
Okay, very good. All right, commissioners, let's talk about this one then. Commissioner Deal, would you like to start us off?
I'd like to repeat my comments from last time, but in the interest of time, I'll simply refer to them. This, again, follows the rules. It's a lot easier to deal with when people take that as their assignment, and I, for one, really appreciate it, and the diligence that staff and the designer and applicant have made to do that. And that being the case, I'd be happy to move staff's recommendation when appropriate.
All right. I think it's appropriate, unless there's any further comments from anyone. We have a second by Commissioner Mendoza. So we have a motion to move this project forward and a second by Commissioner Mendoza. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Getzelman?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Mendoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Deal?
Yes.
Commissioner Monsalve?
Yes.
Commissioner Work?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes.
Chair, motion carries.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, staff. That was great. You did a wonderful job. And thank you, applicant, for doing such a great job of getting everything in line for us. We appreciate that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Then we only have a department report, perhaps?
Yes, I have a few items I'd like to mention for the department report, and I'll try to keep it quick. So first things first, as most know, Supervisor Daniels made a referral related to a parking ban on the Bixby Bridge that was mentioned earlier by Commissioner Deal. The HED staff has approved an emergency coastal development permit, and the introduction of the ordinance for that parking ban was introduced at the Board of Supervisors yesterday, so there's been movement there. In terms of the water allocation policy that came last before the Planning Commission in May, that did go before the Board of Supervisors yesterday and was approved unanimously. There were some minor changes to the policy, specifically looking at that planned housing growth category and allocating additional water to ADUs and JADUs, in addition to the planned housing growth that was discussed previously. There was also an extended kudos and gratitude to the Planning Commission for the work that was done on fleshing out the policy prior to it getting to the board. So I wanted to make sure that the kudos was shared here. Thank you for your assistance with that. The one other item I did want to briefly discuss too is I know we did a workshop a couple months ago on the draft environmental justice element to kick off public review, and we got a lot of engagement both from the Planning Commission and the public on how do we make that document more accessible, easier to understand, and are there better ways to reach out into our disadvantaged communities. And so staff has taken that to heart. We are extending the public comment period through the end of July to allow for better outreach into our disadvantaged communities, and it did take staff a little bit of time to try to get some additional information available to the public. And so what I briefly wanted to do was share my screen for both the planning commissioners as well as members of the public that are interested in this update. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, application windows. Okay, so hopefully this will pop up on Zoom. All right, can my screen be? There it is. Okay, so we have a general plan elements updates web page. It's a landing page under advanced planning. And then we have a project-specific environmental justice page. Couple things that have changed since we last came to the Planning Commission is one, we are partners in the Sustainability Office have been using a new platform called Canovio for comments and interaction with the the Climate Action Adaptation Plan public comment period, which is also just opened up. And so what we've done is we're trialing out this new web page to allow for more interactive ways for the public to comment on the draft itself. So with this tool, what's really interesting is you can click on portions of this. I'm trying to select. We'll have to do a little bit more here, but give me 1 second. There's ultimately ways to both translate the document into different languages and have that be read aloud to you. And then there's opportunities to actually click on text. The functionality is being a little odd here, so we'll make sure that that's up to snuff, but that you can actually click on specific portions of the element itself and provide comments there and provide your contact information so staff can follow up or add folks to the interested parties list. The other item we wanted to note is staff went back through, and I'd like to shout out our project planner, Edgar Sanchez. He did a lot of the work here, and looked at each disadvantaged community and put together some handouts that summarize some of the public comment that happened to date, and provided some quick reference to goals and policies in the EJ element, information on some of what residents had told us so far, either through survey responses or just conversational interactions through outreach that was previously conducted. And again, being mindful and trying to encourage review of the full document. It is hundreds of pages, so what we're trying to help is provide some guiding questions and some key policies that may be of interest to members in various communities based on the public comments we've received to date. So that more recently, within the last couple of days, got up on our project webpage. We'll work on getting some additional information out to the Planning Commission for dissemination to constituents or members that are interested in this topic, and then working with both our supervisor's office as well as our planning commissioners on additional ways we can get out into the community. And so that was very quick. That concludes the department's report. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Some good stuff, and it was quick. Can't beat that.
Mr.
All right,
Chair.
everyone, do you want to?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
I have a question for staff about the temporary parking ban on Highway 1. What is the intent, or how will that be enforced, or what will that look like? Are we allowed to ask that now?
I can weigh in a little bit on that if you like.
Yeah, I'll speak, and then Commissioner Deal, you're more than welcome to add comments. I know this has been mostly in partnership with Public Works as well as the director of HCD, neither of whom are on and available to take some additional questions. So we can make sure to have more of a staff level update at our next Planning Commission meeting for the interest of the Planning Commission. But so I will leave it at that. But Commissioner Deal, if you'd like to add anything, you're more than welcome to.
I would. We have been working for years on this issue, and it's multidisciplinary, and we have worked with, most recently, we had an emergency task force through the Big Sur Multi-Agency Advisory Commission, or Council, rather, that was convened by Assemblymember Addis's office, but had representatives from state and local agencies throughout it, including CHP and the sheriff. So one of the things that came out of that was the alteration of the traffic flow on the Old Coast Road, which was a contributory problem. And one of the other things that came out of this was that one of the difficulties that we have with enforcement is having a clear standard to enforce. So currently we have a CHP person when they can be there, and they have to deal with members of the public one-on-one to say, no, sir, you're over the line. No, ma'am, you can't park in the road. So the clear standard is part of a multi-pronged effort. Another part of that effort is working with our state representatives to find additional funding for Highway Patrol to come and focus enforcement on the times we now know from our collection of data have the most likelihood of impact. That is expanding immeasurably. As of Memorial Day, the times that we thought we were concerned turned out not to be nearly sufficient. But we have our supervisor in particular, but also our assembly member and our senator are working diligently to try to find the funding that would be necessary to provide enforcement here. And so working with our law enforcement partners, we doing what the county can do, which is to help with the standards. The county can then also provide the assistance to get through with working with the Coastal Commission and with other agencies to be allowed to place the signage that's necessary. Caltrans is going to continue to work with their construction project at Rocky Creek to monitor the traffic timing on that bridge to help support efforts to alleviate that congestion. So I go into all of this because I continually get comments about how nothing is going to work without enforcement. It's like, yes, we know. Everybody knows there's not a magic bullet here. And everybody should know that there's universal support for making this work, and it's not about limiting access. It's not no tourists. It's no, the people who are there don't enjoy their trip either. So this is something that we've had 7, 8 agencies working on for a matter of several years to try to come up with a multi-pronged attack. The county's part is vital. It's just a part. And we need all of these. We hope that each of them will contribute, but we need all of them to actually solve the problem.
I'll add this to Commissioner Deal then in your public collection of information. Visually, something that has worked in Yosemite is they put giant boulders out there, and they're sort of natural looking and not cones that can be moved. And I don't know if that's...
I will comment on that. Yes, we tried that. We actually had the Caltrans maintenance people install some boulders. They are currently illegal on the state highway because they're unsafe, so they had to be removed. Again, this is not for want of trying. We truly hope, and I think it's actually a shared hope that through a series of events like this and using the construction that we know is upcoming, we will be able to alleviate this problem long-term by kind of making the expectation change about what happens there. So, we're hoping this is a temporary, hit it hard, change the mindset, and it'll all get better. And we are hoping that if we find that the added enforcement is something we can maintain, that the signage can be less. But they have to have something to enforce, and it's just not possible for them to deal with that many people with that level of involvement. So, the county's part's important, so is everybody else's. It requires money from outside the county. The county can't afford to pay for the millions of people that come there on our own budget, and nor should we, in my view, expect that.
All righty. Anyone else? Questions? No? Okay. I'm going to call it adjournment then at 11:16, I believe. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all coming and helping. Thank you. And thank you. Hey, we got you out of here, buddy. You can go. You're sprung. Get the hell out of here. Oh, I'm sorry.